Hey, brave souls. Welcome to the Brave Evolution Podcast. I'm your host, Chantel Hampton, and this is your weekly boost of empowerment. So, this week, I want to encourage you to be brave enough to start. Just be brave enough to start. So often we get these ideas that just come. A lot of times they're just like, spur of the moment, we're walking, we get this idea and we're like, ooh, okay. And maybe it just seems like kind of far-fetched, or we don't even know where to begin, or it gets like overwhelming when we start looking at the pieces. And so we kind of just let this inspiration pass us by. And then we get into moments where we're frustrated because we are having to deal with the mundane or things that are not very inspiring. But I want to encourage you to start. Start whatever it is, that idea that you had, capture it, those moments of inspiration, capture it, write it down, and begin somewhere. Take small steps towards that that idea, that concept. Take small steps to the fruition of it, like to see it come to pass. Okay. Back in 2016, I want to say it was, my business partner and we were teaching at Berkeley, and we would get frustrated and fuss about certain things and just like see there were gaps, and there were all these ideas that we had. So we would just sit down and talk about them. I began to write stuff out, and we said, you know what, why don't we start a business to kind of hone in on that, and maybe we can monetize the very thing that we're frustrated about. 2017, we kept talking, we started the business. At the time, we didn't know, what was really going to happen. We just knew that there was a need, and we said, we're going to try it. And within a year, money started coming in, things started taking off, and jobs started happening, like things started coming out of nowhere. And I believe it's because we took the first step. It's because we did not just dream. We did not just talk about it or think about it and then get frustrated about it and then go back to what we're normally used to doing. We actually put forward action, and we started moving towards the very thing that we saw. We started walking towards the vision. When you walk towards your vision, when you walk towards it, it's almost like the vision gets excited and starts walking towards you. Even though it might seem like it's afar off, it might seem like it's in the future, it might seem impossible, it might seem hard. As you take that step forward, it's almost like something breaks, opens up, and starts moving. It's the future that starts moving. You start meeting your future. You start meeting that promise. You start meeting that vision. You start meeting that goal. So it's so important that you start. It's important that you start. When you don't start, and when you don't pick up that inspiration when it hits, when you don't acknowledge it when it hits, you miss opportunity. You will miss opportunity every single time. You will almost, you disqualify yourself. You never know what you can do. You never know what will happen. You never know what God will bring your way. And I mean, many of us say the universe and God. God created the universe. So I believe that anything that we speak out into the creation that God made meets us, because we're creating within his creation. And so it's so important that as inspiration drops, whether it be from heaven, whether it be from around you, because it's always working. this world and this earth and this place that we live in, it's always creating. It's always creating. And it's just waiting for us to come into alignment with creation so that we can be who we've been destined and purposed to be, which is creators. We're creators. So when an inspiration, an idea comes, don't ignore it. Don't ignore it. Create. Use that as an opportunity. Ooh, that's that. Okay, maybe let me write this down. How would I start that? How could this be implemented? These Apple phones, these iPhones, these Apple computers, these computers in general, the internet, all of it was inspiration. It was an idea. It was an idea that came from somewhere, plopped into somebody's heart and mind. They became passionate about it. They have made history because they took that one inspiration and they pursued it. What have you slept on? What have you given up on? What have you had the idea for but gotten too afraid to do, or you don't feel like you have? You started operating in a mentality of lack. You don't feel like you have what it takes to do it, that you stop. I know even when I started this podcast, I was nervous. When I started even launching the course and the coaching, I was nervous because I was like, what the heck am I doing? Do I have the capacity to take on something else? Honestly, I did not, but I knew this was a part of my purpose. It was an idea that dropped. The Brave Evolution dropped into my spirit. I heard it and I was like, okay, let's do something about it. It's taken a few years, but I've started making steps. I started taking the steps towards it. I started writing the book a few years ago and started taking steps towards it. And I'm seeing it unfold. I'm starting to see it matter, and it's linking me with people that I would have never suspected that I'd be linked with. It's starting to open up, and my world is starting to blossom because of the obedience to the inspiration. Be obedient to your inspiration. Be obedient to that inner voice. Be obedient to your creativity. Be obedient to the Spirit of God. When it tells you to go, when He tells you to do it, do it. Because He don't want to hear you complaining a year from now when you still stuck where you were because you didn't take those steps. I know I don't want to hear myself. I get mad at myself when I miss opportunities because I didn't heed those moments of inspiration. I didn't move, or I allowed fear to paralyze me. We have more than enough. You have more than enough in you. Money will come. Don't worry about the money. Don't worry about the expense. When I was probably 2003, my family received a prophecy from a group of ministers. We were brought up, and one of the things that has stayed with me to this day was God saying to our family, my will is my bill. That whatever He wills and whatever He's purposed, whatever He drops in your spirit, He will pay for it. He's going to pay for it. So there are no limits in Him. There is no lack. There's nothing too hard. Scripture says that He will provide according to His riches and His glory, and not ours, not ours. It has nothing to do with what we think we have. The creator of all of this has everything we need, and He's given us everything we need to live out this life and to fulfill the purposes that He has. But we have to heed what is being said in those moments, because it's when we heed those things, the door unlocks. The obedience is the key that unlocks the next level and the next stage to your life, okay? So it's so important to just be obedient, move forward, try it, try it. Even if it looks like it fails, it's not a failure. I got to say that again. Even if it looks like it failed, it's not a failure, because you were obedient, and you being obedient moved you into a new place. Even though you may not see it right away, it moved you into a new place. And that new place breeds new strength. It breeds new opportunity. It actually breeds new wisdom, because you know and you can reflect, oh, maybe I should have done this differently. Or I did it this way, but maybe no, anything that looks like a failure is actually a stepping stone to the next place you're supposed to go. So there is no failure. There is no lack. You have more than enough, more than enough, more than enough. Do it. Do it. I want you all today to write down whatever idea you had this morning, write it down and figure out what it will take for you to start it. Look it up. What will it take for you to start it? What do you actually need to start it? And just say, if you don't know, if it's too big, just say, I don't know. I don't know. But okay, I trust this. This is what I can do. I can start here. I can do this thing. It's small, but we can start here. Do it and start watching the pieces unfold. One more little testimony and thing. So there's this vision that I have and that I've had for years. It stemmed from a dream that I had. And it's huge, y'all. It's huge. I can't even fully talk about it right now, and I won't, but I know that I'm working towards it. It's really big, and it scared the heck out of me. It scared me so much, because I'm like, yo, I don't know how I'm going to do it. Do I have the capacity? Am I smart enough? I don't know what this means. I don't know what this looks like, but it keeps coming up. Within this past week, I had really been just sitting down and like, okay, I'm not going to ignore it. I started writing down the ideas, writing out the business plan, writing out all the information. It feels like it's everywhere and it's a mess, but I started just like, okay, send me the help, God. I don't know what I need to do to get this done, but help me. I need help. I need the people, and I need minds, like-minded people surrounding me to help me execute this so that we can build this together. And do you know, within the past week, I've received 3 calls from people saying that God told them to do the very thing that he told me to do. And it was like verbatim, the same exact thing, and stuff and details in my proposal and plan that they would have never known, because I haven't shared it with anybody. They started sharing with me. And so we have the help. They were praying for help because it's big. And we have the help. So we're going to help each other. It's stuff like that. Stuff that we can't even plan or map out. And these are people that I've known for years that I never thought would be the ones that would build this with me. Never thought. But you don't know how God is going to allow you to operate in what he's given you to do. You just have to move, and you have to trust, and you have to write it down, and you have to start taking the steps. You start taking your steps, the vision will meet you. I guarantee you. My dad used to say something, God has a million ways, there are infinite. He used to say there's an infinite, that's the word. There's an infinite amount of ways for you to get to where it is that you need to get to. You just have to take the first step. That's it. I hope that helped. I hope that was encouraging. I love you all. I'm praying for you all. Let's be brave together, brave enough to start, Okay. God bless. If you have any questions, you need to reach out, whatever. I am here. I got you. We're in this together. Be bold, be brave, be strong. God bless.